Welcome back. My name is Chris Patrick, and today we are doing our video here on the Saturday Night Series, round number 2 at the Ohio RC Factory. Unfortunately, I missed round 1, so I couldn't bring you guys along for that race, but today we're going to bring you along for round 2. I got you guys on my workbench. We're going to go over some changes and some details that have changed since the last time you guys have seen my buggy. So, with going into the round 2 of the Saturday Night Money Series at the Ohio RC Factory, I went to go do a club race on a Sunday, and there was not enough attendance, so it ended up being a really large practice session for myself. And this video is kind of a shout out to a fellow team associated driver at the Ohio RC Factory. Thanks again, Alex, for all of the help. But I got there, I had put a new battery in it. We changed a bunch of stuff up. So we're going to start with the motor. I swapped out my Macklin version 2 team motor for a Trinity RevTech X Factor. This is the team spec version, which is a top 5%, and the internal resistance is 17.7, 17.8, and 17.7. So that's why people pay a little extra for certain type of motors, as you get a little bit extra hands-on, and you're getting basically the best of that batch. Swapped my Team Orion 3800 battery packs for a Trinity RevTech Graphite Series 4200 LCG battery, and reprogrammed my ESC because I believe I was not getting full throttle previously, and that's another thing that Alex had noticed, that the light activity wasn't normal for this ESC. So suspension changes during this practice. We redid a bunch, so changed the rear springs to a gray instead of the factory white. I added some, I believe, a millimeter spacer on each of the rear ball studs. Lowered my hub width on the back end, so these hex hubs, they went from 7mm to 6mm. to help with some turning that I was fighting. The front springs are still white, I believe. Yeah. No, those are grays. No, white. Those are whites. Still running 18mm ride height for front and rear at that point. And we had discovered that my rear axle differential was extremely tight. And I'll explain that here in a second. Actually, I'll just go ahead and tell you. Going into round 1 of qualifying, Alex had borrowed a fellow co-racer's differential checker and discovered that my rear diff was around 8,500, and that was after we loosened it the Sunday prior to that race, which says a lot. And it should be around 2,300 is the number that you're kind of looking for, roughly anywhere from 2,000 to 2,300. So I was way over on a rear diff, which means kind of a locked rear end, and that generated a lot of push, especially on corner off, and that was kind of where my biggest complaint was, and just overall consistency. So let's go ahead and roll a video of one of the qualifying rounds, which I believe is the best one that I have. We'll go ahead and roll that for you guys now.
Drive, Boston. Okay, guys. Boston's out there. Get ready. Get ready. This one's going to go. All the time.
Nope. Well, that's a terrible start.
Hold on. top spot coming off the hinge here on line 1.
Come on.
Put some pressure on yourself. Still looking. I think it's 4 pile 1. Maybe on wheels, but you flip off the lead. 3/10 of a second between stop and golden now. You flip off top spot, feature out front. Golden to you. Good night and one. Oh, I feature on that high for you.
Oh, go ahead.
A couple of mistakes out of it here. 2% out, 3.5 seconds down here. Back back. Up to a 1.5 second gap off the salt pumper. And here they come across the far end. There's the Tigers down the straightaway. So they come up behind 2.5.
Go outside. Man, I just...
Back to back the race for him, 23 flat, 2 seconds after pretty good and going. There we go, folks, triple section. Rolls it into the roller. Halfway down, halfway go. Stop running on around here. Down to a 2 second gap for the top 2. The back foot pressure on ball. Half a second between the two of them. Between the triple. 100 meters up to the ball. Rolls it over back. Up to the sweet spot.
Oh!
Trouble going into the midfield. It's still not close. It's right up on the bumper here. Minute and 40 seconds left to go. Back to the gap. In between the top 2, 3 all the way through. Watch it on the straight guys, careful on the straightaway marks. You got all 3 of them coming back to third. 2 to the 2 wheels, they're all in the straightaway. 5 minutes per second between the 2 of them up on 5% to third. 3 cars coming across that circle. Stop that, stop it. 5 good passes and 1 is the run order. Oh, over fault. Dropping off into the rollers, what's under there, left to go. Dalton feels the pressure coming out of the rollers and rolls it over. Back to the sweet spot. About 45 seconds to try to get on the sweet spot. That's a good way to go. Stop down the straightaway. 1 car in between him and back. 3 seconds back on the ball. 1.5 seconds to keep catch up here. Looks like we're going to be racing the strike. We got about 5 seconds left to go. Coming around to the speed of the strike. Fox is going to make it at this strike. The box is still live. The only car is still live. Super.
So going into the mains, I had a decision to make. So I was still fighting with some setup issues. trying to get myself confident and comfortable with a lot more power, because this motor has tons more power compared to what I was used to. It threw a kind of a monkey curveball wrench into setup and tire selections and everything else. So I've got 4 sets here that I've been running. So on this particular race, during qualifyings, I was running some, I would say, 3/4 worn down Riptides. So if you can see, the center is slicked out, and that's intentional. I ground down most of the tread on the center because it is a really high bite indoor clay track. I just wanted some of the extra side bite on the outsides. I had been running this set of radars, but this set here had probably been ran. Actually, I think this was my original set of raw speed tires. So those tires now are pushing 6 months old, and they are starting to show signs of stretching out real bad. I can probably get another couple more runs out of those, but I decided that I had bought a set of raw speed production slicks, and I chose to not run slicks in the main simply for the fact that I didn't have the confidence in this tire combination yet, because again, I wasn't familiar with how they were going to handle, so I went with the Riptides instead. They handled pretty well. I just think that I gave up a little bit of speed, and basically just in general, I was just kind of not confident with my abilities due to all of the changes that I had tossed into it. I still picked up speed. I was happy with how I ran and how I finished, but let's go ahead and take you guys into the mains.
Out there, get ready, drivers, get ready. So ready, let's stand by. Coming in that little double, get it. The salt, plastic, fruit level. There's the top 3 through the triple. Salt, single, salt, just a little loose, and all kinds of chaos on the step down, guys. Keep minimal off the zip, we're clear. Fruit to the point, plastic, back, switch backward, and salt fire from the last one here. Coming on the straight back and plastic is trouble against the pipe coming out. Where is that?
Oh!
Meanwhile, quickly out front, 4 on the last lap coming off the end of the straightaway. Heading on to a back 55, 4 that time again. Salt for about 22 and the 2.5 in the little back. 3 second gap to the top of about half a second. So that's going to be 3.5. Salt and gap pulling that on the drop now.
Thank you.
No.
Another 22.4. Back to that triple section goes. This one's 2 and 3 in the triple. Ball and back. There's the tight one. Under a second between those 2 coming up the straightaway. Getting ready to catch up to. Watch the straight, guys. Watch the middle of the straightaway, right in the middle of the straight. We're cleared up. Back. The 3-car roll going down the straightaway. The box, the second inbound. 1 and 2. All in the straightaway. Cooper, Myers. Across the front. Cooper, 24, 21, 8 out of ball. Now at halfway, comes down the straightaway. Cooper, ball. Where we go here, coming up on Melbourne. Our Look out, not see something up on you, thank you. Road, dog, little bobble into the wagon wheel. Now that's a little bit of breathing room. 2 minutes left to go. 22-1 out of Scott Hot, not the race for him. Dalton 23-3. 1.5 seconds between them. Back about 7 seconds to that now, but his hot lap, 41-9, is trying to pick back up. Got a minute to 30 left to go here. With the passes here. Marshmallows are going at it across the back side. Here comes Cooper. Go inside. Stay low, work right up. 1:15 to go. This battle. Here's for the lead down the straightaway. We'll see the tight one now. 4 tenths of a second between them dropping into the midfield and Dalton rolls over. So 1 minute left to go. We'll talk to Bill about it. Two laps here and stuff again. Working underneath the CPU right now, 15.517 with 40 seconds left to go. 14.519 now. Give us a little bit of time, maybe not 30 seconds left to go.
Fifteen seconds left.
We're going to have a couple good laps here. All the drop down. 5 seconds left to go. If he's going to get up across here and keep moving. Barber has those guys. Cooper Coasted on the last lap, 14.501. Dalton goes 14.504. And that's going to 14.506.
Oh,
Patrick, there's a couple of and Mark Melvin, there's 2 cars here. Couple green ones up to the track. There's Mark finished up, and here comes Chris Patrick.
so as you guys watched, that was the B main, and there was 5 of us in it, and I had qualified 3rd and finished 3rd. So, unfortunately, like I said, I was fighting some setup issues and some confidence issues on myself, but I did manage to stay on the lead lap, which for me is a huge bonus, and I was extremely ecstatic with how I drove. My consistency was a little low. I was only 90.454%. Unfortunately, that's not going to get you anywhere, but I was okay with that, knowing my setup issues that I was fighting with tires and basically learning a whole new car at that point. But I was pretty proud with being able to stay on that lead lap, even though, yes, it was the B main. But to give you an idea, that was 15 minutes at 6:09. It was my pace that I had ran. And my top 5 average was 24 seconds, or 24.713 seconds. And my fastest lap was 23.961. So with those numbers, I had picked up a decent pace from where I used to be, which I was happy with that. But again, just got to keep driving, got to learn some things, do a little bit more setup changing, and we'll go for round 3. So keep an eye out, guys, for the next video, which should be round 3 of the Money series. Let me know what you guys think of the new changes here, the switching over to the Trinity line, and my tire selections, and we'll go from there. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, we're going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day.